This week, a new brand positioning for a leading advertising school. A bank finds a clever way of taking the sting out of the dreaded job interview. Big news from the public relations and communications sector as two leaders in the industry unite. And we'll also give you a serious shot of adrenaline as we go behind the scenes of a riveting motorcycle event. It's been 3 years in the making. And a very warm welcome to you. And first up this week, the education industry contends our first guest, faces the same challenges as the ad industry is facing, trying to find that balance between strategy and creativity, business and art. And that, I think, was the conundrum that faced the small agency Rogue when it was set the task of giving the ad school Vega a makeover. Chief Executive Brad Dessington is going to share the secret. Welcome. Thanks very much for joining talking to us. I'm glad that you refer to brand communication as a business, because that underpinned the work that you've done. That's not always the case. It's not always seen like that, is it?
It's not always seen like that, but I think as we move forward, and especially the kind of work that we do with our clients, we're always seen as an agency that we're working more and more with business units outside of the typical marketing departments. If you look at it from an education perspective, and specifically Vega, they see brand as integral to every part of the business. It's everything from the leadership to finance to HR to marketing in the traditional format.
So Brad, what was the essence of the brief then? Am I correct in saying that you want people who are engaging with the rebrand to take the whole concept of brand communication a little bit more seriously?
There were a number of challenges with the brief. The first was to reposition Vega specifically because of the new offerings in BComs. Second to that is people's lack of understanding of the brand. And at the same time, we needed to start positioning what a creative school was relative to your typical traditional universities, your typical BComs. And that was our challenge. So we've got that challenge now to establish a brand positioning campaign over a long period of time. And more specifically, in the short term, enroll students.
It's not a brand that's about pot-smoking ponytails. Maybe there are, I don't know. But you've also got to find the challenge between that creative element and the business element. In other words, in this new rebrand of yours, infusing the magic.
Vega is quite unique. Vega offers, if you look at the baseline courses, they offer that technical commercial science in their BComs and across their various courses. But the way that they go about it offers that practical knowledge that you only really get from getting your hands dirty and being creative and thinking innovatively. And that's what makes Vega unique. And we want to make sure that that comes through in our communication. We've taken that step further to look at a positioning that starts challenging that dichotomy between strategy and creativity.
All right, so from the brand repositioning itself, creatively, what came out of this process?
Essentially what we did is we challenged an old myth that you have left brain thinkers and right brain thinkers. And that left brain thinkers are your logical type of thinkers and right brain thinkers are your creative, innovative individuals. And the reality is that doesn't exist.
Do you say that's a myth?
Absolutely.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yes.
Dr. Dessington, yes.
I want to talk about brain lateralization and things like that right now, but I'm not qualified.
Okay, back to the story.
So really what we've got to here is a positioning that says, why use your left brain or your right brain when you can use it all? Because that's what Vega does. It gives you that commercial science, but it also gives you that beautiful side of creativity, that art side, that lateral type of thinking. So really what we're challenging with our positioning is for individuals to use their entire brain. And that's quite a compelling message, because if you look at it relative to either your design or art schools, who are typically more your right brain thinkers, or your universities, who are typically more your left brain logical business thinkers in terms of the courses that they offer, we're trying to find that space between that. And that's a perfect space for us, using your whole brain.
You've kind of partly answered the question, but the intention here obviously is more recruitment one. I mean, that's why Vega's in business. But otherwise, building a long-term brand, I think, is what you also want to do.
Absolutely. There's essentially two key objectives here. One is the long-term positioning of Vega and making sure that that's robust. It can own a specific space in the market for a long period of time, and we think it is quite unique. The short-term goal now is to drive the BCom enrollments. They're stunning degrees in themselves, and that will be the focus in the next couple of months.
There is a shortage of skills in this brand communication business. So I sincerely hope that the campaign works to that effect. Thank you very much for joining us, Brad Dessington from the agency Rogue. Now let's stay with youngsters hoping to enter the job market, and there's nothing worse than having to sit through the dreaded job interview, knowing that the daunting process often prevents possible candidates from putting their best foot forward. Now, Standard Bank has taken a fresh approach to its graduate recruitment process through a thought-provoking activation that demonstrates how innovation can help young people's personalities shine through. It's called I Bank on Me.
Job interviews are terrifying. Sweaty palms, tight collars, awkwardly rating yourself and forgetting to say that one key thing you've been preparing all day. How many times can you refresh that inbox of yours? We've all been down that road before, and that's why when Standard Bank needed to recruit graduates, they took the idea of a boring interview and turned it on its head. Students showed up unaware, thinking they were facing another terrifying graduate interview. Little did they know that the only thing they were going to face was themselves.
Hi there, it's me. You.
Standard Bank just thought the best way to find out more about you would be to have you interview yourself.
They asked themselves questions that only they would know the real answers to. Ending with the most important one of all. Why would you bank on you?
Because I'm cool. Oh gosh, how would I bank on me?
I'm actually a very nice, loving and caring person.
I think I've got a lot of potential.
I'd bank on myself in that sense.
I'd bank on me because I believe that I have the potential to do anything that I put my mind on.
By using custom-made technology, Standard Bank gave the students the chance to interview themselves instead, ensuring Standard Bank got only the best students to sign up for their graduate program. 450 students were interviewed in 5 locations around South Africa. 10,000 students interacted with the activation, resulting in a 10% growth in Facebook likes, and 2,000 graduate sign-ups in the first month alone. Students came face-to-face with the truth that given the right tools and support from a leading financial institution, the best investment they could ever make is in themselves.
And coming up on Mags on Media, 2 major public relations and communications players join forces. How much of a shake-up is this really for the industry?